again. It seems Lumi might not know how comp mode works. That's fine. It's a very confusing setup. It's okay. You know, we'll figure it out together using teamwork and friendship, because together we are Identity 5. You know, all that fun. With Cordy and Antiquarian bands right off the bat. You cannot have those characters, especially in Hospital, tight knit, very very easy to hit those sticks. And with the coordinator there, very very good for a rebound kite rescuer.
Yeah, especially letting Antiquarian go on Sacred Heart Hospital can be very detrimental. There's so many things to be knocked into here. It's harder to bait here. So I do understand the bans for Coordinator Antiquarian. It also does look like we will be seeing a Magician and Puppeteer play first. They could be going predicting against either an Ivy or an Opera Secret here.
Most definitely. It does look like Dreamer will be pushing into the meta here. Doesn't really have a choice since it is Sacred Heart Hospital. First round of the half of the first round is always going to determine how you snowball forward. You have to use your points and your point lead to snowball forward.
We're also going to be seeing the Seer ban here. Now, Seer does struggle against both Ivy and Opera Singer here, so it is an interesting ban for on their side.
Indeed it is. We are going to see the first officer pick from C3 here, which is definitely a strong rescuer, and I'm glad they chose to put it third instead of picking it first too, because they don't want it on that global bans there. And the reason first officer is so strong in the meta is purely just because you have 3 chances for those watches, and you're going to use the first 2 little ticks of the watch to get to the chair, and it allows you to pop it after you rescue to avoid that double down at all costs, which is why he's so strong. So I'm really interested to see what Dreamer is going to be able to do against this team comp here.
It also does look like that Gardner is going to be the last pick. They are going to save the first officer and Gardner for the next round, and making Magician and Puppeteer the global bans here.
Exactly. And this is always good to make sure to coordinate your global bans for the future games. We are going to see this full comp here, a very, very strong counter Ivy and a very, very strong counter Opera Singer here. This comp right here is extremely anti-meta. They're really trying to push for that tie round 1, which, as we know, a tie round 1 is basically guaranteeing that you win as long as you're, especially on a survivor-sided map, if your hunter is able to push for that 3-point or 5-point game in the second half here. So it's really going to be up to Dreamer here to persevere through this counter comp here and show people, you know, the power that he's got, even though he hasn't played in quite a while. He's still got it, and he will be taking the victory here. Is going to be choosing a Dream Witch pick here. Very, very interesting pick, but I also understand it because we do have a first officer and a puppeteer here. Now, as we know, first officer gets hugely countered by patroller, as does puppeteer. Gardener can also get countered, but you are able to kite it out with a bubble, and magician can kite out patrollers easier with a wand. So we'll really have to see what they do against this comp here.
I think it's very interesting that Dream Witch is picked here. I assume that C3 was expecting an Opera and an Ivy, and I think it does throw them off really hard that Dreamer pushes into a Dream Witch instead of an Ivy or an Opera.
Exactly. And the benefits of choosing this not as meta pick into this comp is it'll give him such a larger chase pool than he would have with either Ivy or Opera here, because he has the opportunity to chase Magician, Gardener, Puppeteer here, whereas Ivy and Opera Singer would really only be able to chase Puppeteer and Magician here. Maybe even only Puppeteer, since Magician is in ruins, and that is considered one of the strongest kiting places in the map, maybe even in the game, with how strong rotations are, especially with the speed boosts he gets from those wands. So we'll really have to see what Dreamer is going to be able to choose here. I would assume he pushes down into the Puppeteer and Patrollers so that he avoids that body block ability from Puppeteer to shorten that chase and maybe push him to a down, either on Gardener's Cipher or on the First Officer's Cipher.
These are going to be more traditional spawns here too as well. We're going to keep having Magician in Ruins and Puppeteer at Double Doors is pretty interesting. It is trying to force Dreamer into a chase and to people who he wouldn't be as comfortable chasing. But I do think he's also going to be pushing into the Puppeteer, trying to get that early down on him and get him to waste his body blocks.
Exactly. And as we're looking at the builds there, we do see Magician has a very unique pick of Flywheel here. Definitely not expecting that Dream Witch with the Gardener and the Puppeteer on Windows. And of course, the Rescuer has Tide. Nobody has Sui. So very, very interesting pick. Really trying to go for a strong tie potential here with everybody holding borrowed time. So we will be getting into it here. And it does look like Dreamer is going to push immediately towards that Ruins, looking for that Magician here, trying to get that early hit and maybe save main body patroller. We'll really have to see how this Magician utilizes his wands here in this area. This area is pretty bad. He's going to get leeched right away, sandwiching. Very beautiful sandwich here. Magician's going to have to really work with himself. Dreamer knowing exactly what to do with his leeches, creating distance. Magician doing very well, dropping these pallets here, really putting him in a bind. Dreamer is just waiting for the leech to come. See, as we see, leech has come here. He is going to get that beautiful patroller on the Magician, which might guarantee this hit with main body here. That is going to guarantee the hit with main body.
First hit here is very interesting. It is kind of early for a hit here, and they are able to still have main body patroller being used. So it is interesting how much longer this Magician will be able to kite for.
Yeah, exactly. And as we see, main body patroller getting utilized here, able to save that leech here, and even with a wand, is going to take that hit, even with Flywheel unable to utilize that Flywheel for that patroller bite here, and will be chaired in the back of Ruins over here. And with this such early down, especially with Dreamer being the veteran that he is, knowing exactly where all the players are decoding at, it's going to be really hard for this first officer to push in for this rescue without taking some detrimental damage or a potential double down here.
It does look like he is going to be getting a patroller to try to get that after half rescues. And additional to that, it does look like the Cypher progress is lacking just a little bit for this first down. They are at 3 Cyphers, pushing that next Cypher currently at 60%. It does look like this rescue will be saved after half. Additional to that, first officer is able to get a backdoor rescue on Dreamer, allowing Magician to make more distance.
Yeah, and as we see, Dreamer is losing sight of that Magician here, or the first officer here, for the double hit. And that will allow, I believe, the Magician to potentially does get stuck there, but does get the Flywheel and gets a beautiful pallets done there, trying to avoid the sandwich at all costs here. But Dreamer is not going to fall for it and is going to push into the sandwich, knowing that Magician doesn't have any wands and no more Flywheel to utilize. So that will be Magician's down there, and that will be quite an early elimination on the side of C3 here. So they're really going to have to pick up the slack. We are missing an entire Cypher here. We do have a witch mark on the side of first officer here, but we are just going to leech that instantaneously, and it's looking pretty bad here. If we do get an early down on this first officer, we will be looking at 4-man potential. Is going to use that watch immediately, but still gets patroller there. As we said, very detrimental, and you just waste a watch here just to eat a hit. You really have to be careful about, rationing these watches when it comes to patrollers here.
They are trying to push that last Cypher. The scary part about Dream Witch is definitely her late game. So I am interested in how this late game is about to go down, as that the Cypher is only at 15%. And we do see the blink coming out from the Dream Witch, securing the down, and then is going to be pressuring Cyphers.
Yeah, we see she is using that first officer leech to push onto that puppeteer there to pressure that cipher, which is the furthest decoded there. And no, is going to put main body, which is exactly what you want to do, on that cipher there, and just patrol around the chair so main body follower doesn't push out there. And we've got the leech on the chair. The issue with having the leech on the chair, yep, there we go, replacing that right away. The issue with having only the leech on the chair is that if you hit the person, if they just body block, then there's not much you can do. Gonna get a beautiful rescue with a primed bubble here, using a watch instantly. Is gonna get that prime bubble, trying to bait it out, still monitoring this last cipher here. It's gonna really be up to the multitasking of this Dream Witch to see if they can catch these survivors off guard here.
We do see the missed blink here, but it does look like this is still a good situation for Dreamer. The furthest cipher is still right on top. He's still right on top of it. It doesn't look like the survivors are starting a new cipher to be able to counteract that the cipher's just being camped here. It is going to be harder for these survivors to survive the end game against the Dream Witch with the lack of cipher progress going on right now.
Exactly. And as we see the presence of all these leeches here, and as you can also see, they are cipher locked, and it is a Dream Witch, so she is just going to be able to get that down on that first officer, and it's looking like a 4K here, especially with the fact that they're allowing all these leeches across the field on all of the ciphers that could potentially be decoded, and there's not much that the survivors can do here with how much presence Dreamer has on the field here. Gonna probably get out that first puppeteer ability here, and really just not looking good for these C3 survivors here. Is going to get a hit, is going to be the last chair for this first officer. Gonna miss the blink, but first officer tries to protect, but Dreamer doesn't go for the hit because he thinks he doesn't get it. Oh no, the leech went out of distance. That is super unfortunate for Dreamer there.
The survivors still being cipher locked here is truly detrimental to them. They aren't able to start any new ciphers without Dreamer putting so much pressure on it. It is going to be really hard for them to get a cipher done, and they will have to have a really good kite against Dreamer right now.
Exactly, and as we see, this puppeteer is probably going to have to use his last ability here. Is going to use it baited by Dreamer, just trying to psych out and see what he can do here, knowing that he's just going to siphon the abilities and items of these survivors here to push into this eventual endgame, eventual 4K for this Dream Witch here.
It doesn't look like the survivors can do anything in this situation since they're all on one side of the map. This also goes within the risky pick of Hospital in this situation. It does also is going to be depending on their hunter to be able to perform just as well as Dreamer in this match. 4K situation does give them a lot of pressure for their hunter as well.
Exactly. We do see a lot of pressure from this Dream Witch here. We'll just really have to see what the survivors will be able to do to maybe push for that one man here. We do see the dungeon's location is at statue here, is just going to blink, trying to predict it, but unfortunately not in time. That perfumer is not going to be much use to these survivors here. So we're really going to have to see what this puppeteer can pull off here, because I don't think that is probably going to be the final down for the 4K here. I imagine they're going to surrender here. They might not. They might just push. They might just be stubborn and push for the one man, which is always good to do because it's not over till it's over. But unfortunately, that will be the leech on the puppeteer, and that will be, I believe, the 4K 5-point game. Round one. As we talked about, even without meta, Dreamer just had such a strong presence from the mid to late game there that allowed him to lock in this 5-point game.
And it was good control over the leeches and the main body for Dreamer here. He was able to monitor every cipher on the side of the map. Unfortunately, they did cipher lock themselves by putting all the ciphers on one side of the map, but it showed how great Dreamer is as a hunter to be able to lock them all down.
Exactly. And you just got to give props to utilizing non-meta and such a hard hunter to play so well. Even with that comp there, they were trying to push for the counter comp, we're going to push against meta, we're going to get the safe time, we're going to let our hunter do the heavy lifting for us. But unfortunately, Dreamer just answering back and getting a 5-point game here, giving his survivors a very good head start here, and it's just going to be up to them there to see what they can do in this round one second half here after that 5-point deficit there.
I am interested in seeing how C3's hunter play. I remember seeing him play Ivy as well. I'm very excited about that gameplay. He did a very phenomenal job last time as Ivy, and I can't wait to see how he's able to control and do everything on that map. The only issue is that that since Hospital is so survivor sided, it is harder for him to it's harder for him to get that first down, and that's the only thing I would say that would be hard for C3 survivor here, or hunter here, sorry.
Exactly. And it does seem like we are going to be getting into this second half here. And hopefully, once my co-commentator stops glazing the C3 Hunter, we will be able to start up this second half here.
It's called
and
glazing.
Are you in the custom? Am I going to get invited? Wait a second. But we really gotta see what C3's Hunter here is going to do to answer that here. Is he going to be able to pull off that 5-point game like we saw from Dreamer? Or is he going to lean into the meta, get a tie, maybe get that 5-point game? We'll really have to see here. I know we do have an Opera and an Ivy in our Hunter pool here, as well as I've seen Bane, some Night Watch, some Wax. So we'll really have to see what C3 is going to be pushing for here.
He is a very diverse hunter, but if he does play Ivy, it's just as much as Dream Witch is here. She's a very control hunter, so she can pressure the ciphers just like Dreamer did in those matches, and it can end up poorly for the survivors. So it does kind of lean in on the survivors on how they'll do their ciphers and how they'll plan it to go against CCC right here.
Co-commentator, invite me for real.
The spectator spot is not extended.
Oh, nice. Lumi's a pro player, but yeah, we're really just gonna have to see what happens here with C3. It does seem like Dreamer is dual faction. Bro wants all of the smoke for all of the time. Seems like Lumi doesn't know how extending commentator spots work. So let me explain. Let me monkey it down for you real quick. You know what I'm saying? But we'll have to see what C3's Hunter is going to play off here. For this round 1 second half here. If he's able to pull off this round 1 tie here, that will push them to a round 3 game guaranteed, which will be very exciting here. But as we said, it's a survivor sided map. It is Hospital, so it'll really be an uphill battle here for the Hunter of C3. So we will have to see once we get into it here.
I am interested in what the survivors are going to pick here. How they plan on going against CC. What's their plan of attack to be able to beat him on Sacred Heart Hospital? Since it is survivor sided, they can be strong here. They can have very strong survivors to really put the pressure down on him. It is just going to be they just need to make it as difficult as possible for him to get that first down. And I'm really excited to see whether or not they're able to really show their full potential.
Exactly. I am as well. As we push our way, we'll see if they can push their way to the top here. We know C3 was here for season 1 of LiliCrow, as well as Team AA, and both teams played amazing. So, and I'm very excited to see because they got a very interesting bracket. The reason this matchup is so interesting is because C3 always seems to meet their mortal enemies AA on the battlefield. No matter what, they're always facing them in any type of tourney. So we'll really have to see if what's going to happen here in this rivalry here. And we are going to be getting into the bans and picks here.
It does look like the first 2 bans are going to be Priestess and Cheerleader. 100% understand. Priestess is a very hard survivor to catch on Hospital, and Cheerleader can just be able to make all that distance and still play safely, especially against Ivy.
Exactly. And as we know, Priestess is really only played by players who are orphans and their parents don't love them. So really, just a PSA to everybody out there that if you lock in Priestess in my matches, you're going to be put on the block list immediately. But yeah, I think we are going to see a possible Lawyer Psych first lock here from the survivors of AA here. We are going to see that first lock of Lawyer and Psychologist here, and Lawyer very, very strong in Hospital. You put him in Hospital, he's literally a beacon that spreads across the map, and you get the permanent location of the Hunter, because nobody with any sanity would ever chase a Lawyer in Hospital. because that map is broken, that area is broken, the character is broken, it's all broken. It needs to be burned. We need to murder. We need to get pitchforks and torches for whoever created this terrible map.
Especially without the adjustments to the map to make it more fair for the hunters. That is unfortunate. We are going to be seeing a first officer ban and a seer pick. It is interesting with the seer pick here, especially with already having a lawyer and psychologist. The downside of this is that they don't really have anyone who's so great for chase. And if there is an IV pick, it is going to be unfortunate because seer cannot look back to get another owl.
That is correct here, and they're really missing that rescuer here. I'm assuming they're really trying to push for that one man here. However, this isn't really a one-man comp, unfortunately. You would more like to see survivors like possibly Antiquarian, Embalmer, survivors like Patient. But unfortunately, we're looking at a very interesting comp here, very squishy survivors, except for that Wildling here. Really pushing against, trying to push against that Opera here. But really, if we look at that Ivy, it's going to be very detrimental for these survivors because of how much map pressure that Ivy will have on all these survivors, especially when you have a Wilding decoding and 3 out of 4 chase targets available. Even in Hospital, Ivy can still catch on to Lawyer pretty quick with that Yith and Corruption scares. So we'll really have to see what AA survivors are going to do here and what Hunter C3 is going to pick into this comp here.
It is also, Lawyer, like we said, Lawyer is so strong in Hospital. He's basically impossible to catch, but against Ivy, it really doesn't matter. He can only see main body. He can't see the Yithin going around, and he can't see whether or not that it's coming towards him or where he has to hide for there. So it is going to be hard if the Ivy pick is here.
Exactly. It's going to be a very difficult matchup indeed, and we will see the Ivy pick following the Slave to the meta, but that's okay because that character is honestly super broken if you know how to play her. And we do know from previous matchups that C3's Hunter does in fact know how to play Ivy. So it's going to be a very scary matchup for these AA survivors here. They're really going to have to pressure these ciphers and really depend on a very, very, very good first kite here away from ciphers.
We are going to see that Seer does have a Sui build. It is an interesting spawn for Seer, though, since he is in Hospital. It makes him in the safest position, and it's going to make him also very... it's going to make him not chaseable. And, especially with those Sui builds, you want the survivor with that to be chased, so it's harder for that Hunter to catch him.
Exactly, and we saw the Sui build there from only the Seer here, and with this corner spawn, the reason why you want this corner spawn as Shadow is because it allows you to send your main body one way without worry about running into too many obstacles, while you send your ghost another way to harass those ciphers here. So we're really gonna have to see, what that Psyche is gonna do. Likely a chase on the Psyche here to push and harass that cipher. That will be, I believe it's Shack, because I do believe Statue Cipher will be blocked here, if my math is correct here. So Wildling's really going to have to stay away from that Cypher at the beginning of the game, or risk losing a ton of decoding progress, even as slow as he already is there, especially with that Seer in the middle, and putting that Lawyer up at Ruins instead of switching the two there is really going to be an interesting choice here. We'll really have to see what Psychologist is going to do with this first kite here, especially since she does not have that Sui build.
Yeah, it is also going to be harder since Ivy is a hunter that can force people out of areas and also force them back into the areas that they don't want to be in. So it is going to be harder for Psychologist to make the transitions to wherever she wants, because Ivy will have that pressure on her all the time.
Exactly. And the unfortunate thing for Psychologist here is, even though she is able to, just take domestic violence like a champ here, it won't really matter against a character like Ivy here. And we are going to see immediately pushing to harass that Wildling while sending main body towards that Psychologist here, which is going to be super detrimental to this Cypher Rush here. It's going to teleport on the Wildling here. A very interesting choice from the side of C3 here, pushing to harass the Lawyer Cypher here. I'm a little confused at what our choice is. I'm imagine we're switching. We are going to switch here after pushing Lawyer out of the Ruins area, hopefully to look for a fast down, fast hit on this Lawyer here. But Lawyer is playing beautifully around this pallets to push back in to the ruins area, hopefully. So we'll really have to see what C3's Hunter is going to do to get this early hit here.
Lawyer can be played pretty well against Ivy as well, especially since that he is unable to get red light tricked by her. So it is going to be harder for CCC to be able to red light trick this survivor to force a scare out of him. He does have
we see that early hit there though, so that's going to be very detrimental.
Oh, especially with the 70% corruption. Doesn't look like he'll make that window, and it does look like we'll see an early down from the lawyer here. Ivy is getting an early down against Ivy is unfortunate because she is able to pressure those ciphers, force people off them, where you have to rescue that first chair no matter what.
Exactly, and we are going to see the harassment on that. As we talked about, the harassment of these ciphers is going to be extremely detrimental, using that the ability to see where the other survivors are. And once you get an eye on that wilding and force out that boar, using the boar really early here is going to harass the seer cipher here. But using the boar super early, probably just to get the distance to try to get that survivor before half here. It's really going to be up to this Wilding's game sense here to see if they're able to get this rescue before half here.
It does look like the Yithin is going to be put on the lawyer, so it does look like that he might go down right here. Wilding doesn't have board to support anymore, especially with the board being used so early. It does look like Chubby was also carrying Snooze, so it definitely had enough time to not having to use board right away and buying distance and being able to get to that chair without having to use board is kind of detrimental because there's no support to the lawyer now, and it's going to be hard for them to push for this tie since there is no antiquarian or harasser to help the lawyer out here.
Yeah, and we do have a good amount of cipher progress on the board, but the issue is we still are missing a cipher and a half here. And against Ivy, endgame is going to be super strong. If you allow her to eliminate one or two survivors from the game, your endgame is basically guaranteed to spell out that 5-point game there. So we'll really have to see what this Wilding is. He is going to be pushing in for the rescue, gets on board to avoid his stuff. The unfortunate issue here is that there's not much this Wilding can do since he does not have Tide. So if there is a farm here, there's not much that this Wilding's going to be able to do here. Going to have to be is going to get terror shocked on that chair, which is going to unfortunately spell disaster for this survivor team here. It's looking pretty bad, especially since they are still missing an entire cipher here. And I believe that will be a chair on to another cipher that was previously being worked on here. So we're really going to have to see what these survivors do here with this unfortunate terror shock there.
Especially since it does look like earlier that Seer was spectating the Wilding, try to make the guaranteed rescue against him so he wouldn't get terror shock. But unfortunately, you do have to remember that Seer does get scared outside of Ivy when he is spectating, so you can't put that owl on someone like you expect him to. Unfortunately, it's better. It's just going to be way better for the survivors just to use that owl instead of waiting for the guaranteed hit.
Exactly, and we did see the blink to avoid that owl there. Choosing not to chair on the basement because it will be easier to maneuver on that last cipher if you're not in the basement here. And just going to choose to leech right on that psychologist is going to know where that Wilding is. Unfortunately, Wilding with no board here, so we could see just an immediate teleport. We will see an immediate teleport and is going to get shared on the last cipher, which is extremely bad. We are going to probably see psychologist just push in for this rescue here because she doesn't really have a choice since he is on second chair, and she won't have enough time to heal this seer and make the rescue. So she is just going to have to push. Good thing she does have all three of her heals here, and we do see Seer starting a new cipher, but I don't think they'll have enough time to get that popped, considering it is a Wilding, in a corner, in the hardest chair to get out of in the game. So we'll really have to see what they do here.
Especially when it's really hard with Ivy controlling the last cipher shared on another cipher. It's harder for the survivors to even start one. She can just teleport to the survivor each time that her max presence ability is up and be able to down them. That's why it's going to be very hard for these survivors to push for what they want.
Exactly, and we're really going to see Dreamer really holding on to that owl here. Unfortunately, he might not get a chance to use it. Is going to use that whistle on that Wilding here so he can push in for that rescue. But unfortunately, with the pressure from this Dream Witch, we're seeing these leech cooldowns go off and on, and it's really just going to be, musical chairs here for these survivors here. Probably just going to have to stall out the chair here. Probably going to push for this Seer's Death and then TP to this Psychologist here. Not much these survivors can do here. Just going to wait for that Psychologist to build up that fear and probably just TP as soon as she gets is going to get a second Terror Shock on this Wilding. That will be 2 Terror Shocks, not allowing this Seer to use his Owl at all. And this does look, unfortunately, like a 5-point game. As we talked about, C3's Hunter, very, very good with this. Ivy is able to persevere with this likely 5-point game here.
Yeah, and like I said, Ivy's just such a big control hunter, so that early down was just really detrimental to the survivors off the start. Both hunters did play great on this map. Wilding does look like he does use his self-heal. He does have board to kite with, so if Ivy does switch on him, he might be able to kite out to that last cipher, and they might still be able to get a 1K.
Yeah, maybe, but unfortunately with that endgame Yith available, there's not much that they're going to be able to do here. A little cheeky BM ping from the Psychologist here. But as we see, putting that Yith on that other cipher that was being worked on, still seeing in the corner Psychologist using that distraction to push away here. Gonna bring the Yith back, knowing that she has a stone on the statue cipher, is gonna catch out that Wilding here, but unfortunately starting a brand new cipher on Psychologist's side here, gonna force the Wilding to get off his board and decode that corner cipher, and Psychologist is gonna take the chase here. There's not much that they can do here, because as soon as that War of Exit paths begin, we already see Wilding with missing his grand exit path here, so it's really gonna be up to this Psychologist to see if she can kite it out. Is going to TP immediately on that Wilding. Going to get the blink here. Little bit of a miss again. Is going to be that down. And now that we have that exit path out, there's not much this Psychologist is going to be able to do here.
Yeah, unfortunately, just the end game's really hard with Wilding. Yith can just wait out the boar. Wilding's really good for first chases, or either that or just stalling out for time. Unfortunately, wasn't able to stall for much time or be able to put any pressure on him, and he just got teleported on. Really needed to save that boar to when the teleport does happen, so he is able to try to kite it out and give Psychologist the time to decode that last cipher.
Exactly. We are going to see Psychologist pushing here to the is going to get that window speed boost and avoid that hit with that muscle memory there. She's going to be pushing around, probably going to drop this pallet, I imagine. Is going to camp it, does get predicted. Did fail the mind game there. Is it 47? Once she hits that 60 and that Yith scare goes off, it is going to be over for this. Like, she is going to get mind gamed here, and since she doesn't have Sui, that will be the down, and I believe the 5-point game here. Psychologist just, I believe they're refusing to surrender because Wilding is on dungeon, but Psychologist isn't dead on chair here. So we are going to
just be the first chair for Psychologist.
Yeah, we are going to see the Yith just go over to the dungeon, knowing where it's at, and look for that Wilding. Is going to catch him out. You know, kind of hard to hide when you have a large pig. That will be the 5-point game. As we saw, Ivy's end game and early game potential was just so strong, and C3's Hunter was just able to utilize it so well, and he is going to be pushing for this round 3 here.
It does look like that. Both teams do get a 4K here, so it does like it's 5-5 right now. It'll end in a draw for the first round, and I'm really excited to see the second round, especially what these hunters are going to play. It is nice to see that both hunters do seem to have a large pool as well. So I'm very interested in what they're going to play, whether it's going to be meta or non-meta.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting game. I feel like it's a kind of funny irony that the hunters both 4K'd on the most survivor side of map in the game. You love to see it. You just love to see it. The energy and gameplay and game sense from these hunters here. Got 2 very strong hunters here, and we'll really have to see if the survivors of both these teams are able to pick up the slack that these hunters are carrying on their shoulders all by themselves. They're really going to have to pick themselves up to get out of this point differential hole that they've dug themselves in.
Yeah, it's just going to be very hard. since that map is a survivor-sided map, and they both got 4K'd on that map, it is going to show how strong those hunters really are able to perform so well on that map. That means they might be able to perform better on the other map. So it's going to be really hard for these survivors to be able to get those escapes against the hunters.
Exactly. And, as we saw here with the usage of that Ivy round one, we might see that hunter ban from the side of AA survivors here on that Ivy after dealing with, frankly, such a painful game, I would imagine, but I wonder what map we're going to look for here, since I do believe it's AA's map pick, if I'm correct. Let me look here. Let me scroll up. Let's see. I'm looking. Let me see. It is going to be AA's map pick here. So, we really have to see what's going to happen here. I'm surprised that C3 pushed into that, such survivor-sided map, but it worked out probably not in the way they were thinking, because as we saw with the strength of both of those hunters, they were able to get those 5-point games. And it's really going to be up to really this map pick and these survivors here, as well as the hunters, to keep up this tempo, but the survivors to just get a leg up here. And we're gonna have to see what happens here. That's really all you can say, and we're just gonna have to see what happens.
Yeah. Fortunately, we still don't know we it looks like we are going to see a sub Wendy for Yimmy. So I'm really interested in what they're going to do with that. I don't know which side it is on.
That is going to be Wendy's nuts fit in your mouth. Just kidding. That is going to be Wendy subbing in for Slip and Yimmy on the side of AA there. Very good sub, very good player. Unfortunately, we are going to see, or not unfortunately, sorry. We are going to see the map ban, Lakeside ban. Very interesting choice here, possibly pushing for an Opera on the side of C3 here. So we'll really have to see what A is going to pick here. We are going to, we're not picking map yet. Okay, we're just asking questions. That's okay, guys. That's okay. We'll really have to see what AA Survivors are going to do here. I'm assuming AA Survivors are going to push to go first here. But I wouldn't be surprised if they allow Dreamer to go first to set the tone. But I actually know, I think C3 gets the faction order here.
Correct. They do get the faction order. We do know that both Dreamer and CCC are on the Opera leaderboard, so I am curious whether or not we will see them in this round, or whether or not that they're still going to be pushing outside of that meta and going into a different hunter.
Yeah, indeed. And, once again, we see my co-commentator over here servicing both these hunters, to his max potential. Truly a wonder to see. I do believe we are going to see a church pick from the side of AA, a very good pick for Opera, and a very small map for Ivy. So it'll be good for either of these meta hunters here. So we're really going to have to, pick our heads up here. The survivors are going to need to pick up the slack here, because unfortunately, if we rely on these hunters here, they're going to burn out, and we are going to see ourselves at an even greater point deficit here.
Yeah, that's correct. Pushing in all this pressure on the hunters can be harder, going match after match, trying to 4K consistently. And it is going to be hard, especially with counters and the lack of hunters. Their pool is going to get lower and lower for each round.
Exactly. We are going to see C3 survivors going first here, allowing Dreamer to kind of set that tone and giving C3 survivors a second chance at that victory here, trying to get these points, trying to maybe push for a tie here. I feel their best bet is a tie here, especially it is on Church. Quite an easy, tieable map with the correct comp. So we'll really have to see what they do here against Dreamer's Hunter here. We'll have to see if they're going to ban that Dream Witch, if they're going to respect it, or if they're going to stick with their gut and ban the meta, allowing him a chance to play that devastating Dream Witch, which we saw phenomenal multitasking, game sense, and control over both the map and the ciphers. I'm really interested to see whether or not C3 is going to respect ban that, or whether they're going to say, no, I'm going to stick with meta. We're not afraid of your Dream Witch. We're going to take this round 2 victory here.
Yeah, what's really interesting is definitely since Red Church is so good for Opera Singer and Dream Witch here, both very strong hunters on this map. It is a good. I feel like it's a good situation for Dreamer, and same with CCC. He also has his Opera Singer. Whether or not they're going to ban his Ivy and go for his Opera, or whether or not they're going to just ban his Opera Singer and try to push into that Ivy one more time.
Exactly. You know, we'll have to see what happens. It's going to be an interesting game. We already got the map, we got faction, so we're going to hopefully hop into it here. Yep, we got everything locked in.
Invite.
It's going to be interesting. Honestly, Red Church ain't that bad of a map. Gets a lot of bad rap. It's we are going to see our invites here. Nice. Going to get the hunters in here. You know, see what's up. Hopefully, Lumi remembers to put a hunter ban and to permaban the characters. We'll see. We will see. We'll see. Is Lumi gonna remember to put the permabans? I'll just type in the matchup chat.
Yeah, hopefully we won't need to get a restart here. I don't like restarting the whole thing is just so long and tiring of a process. And make sure to turn on the area selection as well. Make sure not
exactly. You know, we can't be having these 5,000 minute fucking restarts. I won't allow it. We'll declare both sides win, and we'll permanently ban Lumi from ever breathing ever again in the history of this world. You know, we just can't be having this bum, you know, trolling my game here. So we'll really have to see if Lumi can get out of this 5-point deficit of my fist if we are trolled here.
The one thing I like to say is like Red Church is such a good map for lots of hunters, so it couldn't just. It's possible we don't just see only Dream Witch or Ivy or Opera here. It's possible we do see some of these other hunters like Bloody Queen or Night Watch.
Exactly. You know, we are going to see. Hopefully, we see some non-meta here. Hopefully, they are able to pull themselves free from the sex dungeon that is the meta. So they allow themselves to experience the rare phenomenon known in this game as fun, I believe it's pronounced. So we are going to get into the picks and bans here, immediately banning out the chick with the stick and the chick with the gun. So we are going to have to see, you know, what these picks are going to be from C3 survivors here. We're seeing, you know, chick with the stick and chickie with the blicky here being banned. So we'll have to see the C3 bans here. We are gonna see that ignoring the Dream Witch ban, we're gonna ban Opera Singer. She's too fast. I don't like it. Stay away from me. You're a female. I don't know how to approach females. We are gonna ban out that Opera Singer.
Pushing into a barmaid here, which is you know, they might be pushing into a barmaid here. There are so many people that counter barmaid on this map, so it is interesting whether or not it is also a shorter map, but it is, if barmaid doesn't get that first chase, it can be worthwhile, it can be strong. Then it is look like we are about to see the next hunter ban here as well.
Yeah, we are going to see that Seer ban there on the side of Dreamer. He does not support animal abuse. Pito will be thanking him with a gift basket. So, you know, we truly love to see it. Unfortunately, us commentators don't give a shit about animal abuse.
So true.
So that is unfortunately going to be an advocate here. Oh my God, I nearly just busted in my pants there after seeing that forward lock from the side of C3. I am a harasser main myself, so I do love when we see harasser mains. And of course, I don't mean Antiquarian, that absolute trash character. I hate that character. I truly love to see the forward pick here, very aggressive, looking to push for that tie or more there on the side of C3 survivors here.
It does look like that they're trying to predict that he is going to be playing Dream Witch yet again. The thing that can be detrimental about that is the fact that, they have to remember that Dreamer's pool isn't limited. It is a bigger pool that they can be going into, and it can be really hard for them to really get a tie out of this depending on what he plays.
Exactly. And we are going to see Dreamer once again advocating against domestic violence, banning out that psychologist, knowing that he still is going to be beating 2 women here in this game today. We are going to see that female dancer very good at taking things slow, not going too fast. But unfortunately, she is a disgusting character. So we're really gonna be giving our props to the C3 survivors here for this very unique lineup. Especially with the fact that they are pushing towards the aggressive support lineup here. Well, I'm interested to see what Dreamer picks here. Maybe we will see the Dream Witch repeat again. Maybe we'll see an Ivy, or maybe we'll see something that we didn't even expect. Something like maybe a Bane. Hint, Dreamer, if you're listening, play Bane, and I'll give you extra points. Just kidding. I don't do that. Disclaimer, we don't give points to people we don't take bribes. Disclaimer, et cetera. But anyways, we'll have to see.
Does seem like they are going to be getting the permanent bans for Barmaid and Acrobat. The Acrobat is a very strong hunter, or survivor, so sorry. Looks like Dreamer is going to bring back out Dream Witch. Doesn't matter. He doesn't care about the barmaid that's there, the dancer. He thinks that he can go in for this 4K once again and be able to dominate these survivors.
Exactly. He just really doesn't care. He knows he's actually Himothy, and he will be taking down these survivors with his bare hands here. So it's going to be a truly interesting game to see here. We'll really have to see what these survivors are able to do against this Dream Witch, seeing as they did get cooked, oiled, and fried in the first half here. But they got new vigor, and they have a harasser here, so I'm really excited to see this game.
Yeah, especially since that Ford can be a counter Dream Witch, but it can be vice versa. He can set up a leech to not get stunned or to stall it out. It does look like he is going to be trying to. I think he's going to push into this female dancer here, knowing that Barmaid is going to be a hard chase for him, expecting dancer to spawn middle. Does look like Barmaid has a Sui build to plan on for the first chase. Unfortunately, Dreamer saw from the future and was able to be like, no, I'm not chasing that Barmaid with the Sui build. I'm going to be chasing this dancer with only windows, and he's obviously going to spawn middle.
Exactly. Very routine spawn here. Going to be pushing out for the leech control and the map control in the mid to end game here. We're really going to have to see what happens with these survivors here, especially knowing that Dancer has such strong kite potential. Only if you're able to place down these boxes here. We'll have to see if she's able to rotate around the church with these boxes here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see whether or not Dancer's going to get a sandwich here in the beginning if she does try to place down the boxes and give an early hit, or whether or not she's able to maneuver outside of the Dream Witch leech.
Exactly. I'm truly interested to see whether or not we do see the Tomi skin. We love to see it. Preach. We are going to immediately push into the middle, looking for that exotic dancer here to steal a couple of singles from her pocket. She's going to be pushing Graveyard here, very smart, away from all the ciphers, towards the block ciphers. This is ideally what you want to do, because you don't deteriorate any of your survivors' cipher progress at all. Is going to immediately place a box here, running right into the main body here. Probably going to take that early hit. Is going to make that pallet here with no issues. We are going to see a bit of a sandwich situation trying to be worked out here, but as we saw, once that dancer starts placing them boxes, it does get quite a bit harder for this hunter to get that first hit there.
Does look like we will be seeing a hit on the leech right here. It does look like Dreamer is going to try to get a patroller here. We'll be seeing the patroller here soon, so it's easy for him to get that first down. And does land the patroller. Now, ciphers are about 50%. They are at a decent speed. He is going to try to stall this out as long as he can. We will see the down. Ford coming in for the support and not giving the hunter the reset on the hit. And looks like Cypher Progress is going to be struggling even more here since Ford is here supporting. Doesn't look like they'll have that time to actually do what they want. Ford can't come in for the stun because the leech is in his way, and if he does try, then he might get stuffed. He is going to be retreating from here and plan on getting for this rescue.
Yeah, as we saw, the forward unfortunately making the mistake of resetting that hit cooldown there, and honestly probably going to be forced to go in for this rescue quite early here, really wasting a lot of decoding progress, especially with this Dancer not having any rebound potential here without those boxes set up.
It does look like we'll see Tide from him. Dancer being in a tough spot that she is, putting a leech on the forward, trying to make sure that Dancer's cut off, can't kite where she wants to kite. It really depends whether or not Dancer can kite here because they do not have the Cypher Progress for this. Will be blinking over the wall to get the hit.
Is going to get that down, looking for that flywheel, not finding it at all. Going to get another quite early down here. Forward not able to harass at all, unfortunately, due to that being half health. Probably going to look to get a drink from that barmaid there in the middle church. And we're really looking bad on Cypher Progress here. We have it started, but we don't have the progress to finish it up here. And we are going to be pushing towards that forward. Probably going to force some of that ball out here. Still monitoring the chair as well here. We're really looking for a possible 4-man, maybe 3-man endgame here. The survivors are still doing quite well, stalling this time out here. We are going to see that barmaid come in for that last second save here.
Does look like Dreamer does have a bunch of leeches spread out, going in for the stun on the main body, but it won't matter because he can go to the leech and stop Shiro from making this window. Blinks over the wall, but unfortunately fails. Heading into Wedding here. This does look like a rough situation for the survivors. Dreamer still has so many leeches on the field, heading more and more to the end game. Dream, which is just so hard of a character to go against. Will be trying to expect a blink. Unfortunately, there's no blink on there. Acrobat trying to come in for the support, but unfortunately, he doesn't make it in time, and there goes down Dancer.
Dancer will be seeing the manor here soon. Unfortunately, forward just isn't able to harass, can't really afford it. I'm a little interested as to why the Acrobat didn't ball over that female Dancer there to utilize that body block potential there. But I believe, yeah, female Dancer will be seeing the manor here, is going to get that first elimination and push into this severely hard Dream Witch endgame here with all this Cypher control.
This looks like all the leeches are off the board, but unfortunately, it's still that the Cypher Progress isn't there. They have one Cypher. If Dreamer's able to control that Cypher just like he did last game, it's going to be so hard for these survivors to really be able to come back.
Oh my God.
It does look like they're not Cypher locked for this game, so they might have a plan to not be able to just sit here and let him do whatever he wants.
Oh my God, my mouth's drier than Priestess's panties. Yeah. We are going to see Dream Witch continually harass these ciphers here. We are going to see one cipher left. It is going to be the middle cipher that has been started. Forward looking through a chest here, digging for some hidden treasure. But with Dream Witch's cipher control, it's really going to be an interesting end game here. Going to get that blink out, getting the hit on that Acrobat here, pushing into the barmaid, really just spreading the fear and the damage across the board here to truly slow down Cypher Progress as much as possible here.
Does look like Dreamer is having that Cypher control once again, knowing that these two ciphers are going to be hard for these survivors to get done. The issue is that the middle cipher has the most progress and has a leech over by the cipher that they are starting, so it is going to be hard for them to start it, and they're going to have to try to get rid of their leeches, play long for this end game, and really get that cipher out.
Yep, we are going to see Acrobat working on removing that leech here. So Dreamer realizing that, moving in to stop him and try to slow him down. We are going to see these ciphers are brought to a standstill here. We're really just playing it slow. The survivors are playing it the correct way, playing it as slow as possible. Pushing leeches away from the ciphers is exactly what you want to do here. We are going to see them pick up that Cypher Progress, and it is very close to being done. Dreamer's really going to have to get these leeches on the field to prep for this end game here.
We'll see another leech on the middle cipher here, knowing that it's the further progress and they are not going back to that graveyard cipher. It's going to be very hard for them to get this cipher done. Certainly, knowing Dreamer that they want this cipher done, gets a hit on the forward. Does look like Acrobat isn't in a position to do anything for the cipher. Dreamer still has the position where he needs and where he's stronger, the strongest at right now. Sees Acrobat pushing into graveyard, trying to make sure he can't get that cipher done. Acrobat does. Oh, my bad. I was forward over there. But Acrobat does come back over here. Barmaid is in middle, does get a leech on her and has 2 leeches across the board. Harder for them to get these ciphers done. 80% on the middle cipher, 15 on the other. It's going to be a very hard end game for these survivors.
Indeed, and as we see, when you let the Dream Witch get all these leeches across the board, it really shows just how scary and strong her end game is here. And as we're watching, they're probably honestly gonna have to open a new cipher, which is what Acrobat is going to be doing here. He is the only one without a leech. No, Barmaid does de-leech herself here. But as we're seeing, the cipher control is going to, continue to permeate, continue to deteriorate these survivors' abilities. When they go into the end game, there's not much they'll be able to do to kite out that Dream Witch with the tension.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard, especially since that we are probably going to see some new leeches come on the board. Dreamer realizing another cipher is being started. Game Thrower is trying to go help him with this cipher, but unfortunately, Dreamer does catch them both out on this cipher.
Thrower. Oh, this guy's name is Game Thrower. That's the fucking best. Oh, man, I don't even care if you lose. You win in my heart. That's the best name ever. Oh, that's peak.
Just like is trying to get the Acrobat down here. Knows that the middle cipher is going to be starting to get work on. They do need that cipher progress. Unfortunately, Florida is on that cipher, so it is going to go very slow. They are going to have Barmaid possibly going for this rescue and be able to pop the cipher. But if Ford does get caught out here, it's going to be hard for them. Cipher is going to be almost primed. It looks like it is primed now, just waiting for the rescue on the Barmaid here. Dreamer probably expecting that cipher is primed now and getting ready to set up for his end game.
Yeah, and see, as you can see, he's reaching.
We'll see the pop here.
Oh, because he was pushing. Yeah, very smart from Dreamer here, pressuring that cipher. And you see him leech the Acrobat here because if the Acrobat is to get rescued, you can let him go on the gate. But Dreamer choosing not to push for the gate. No, is going to push for the gate here. Unfortunately, not enough progress on the gate for these survivors to be able to just die for it here. And it's looking pretty bad for the survivors of C3 here.
It does look like Ford has a wand here. Barmaid cannot go in for that rescue on the Acrobat since he does have a leech on that chair. So it is going to be hard for him to get that rescue. Ford is trying to kite this as long as he can to buy as much time as possible, but it's still going to be pretty hard. Looks like Game Thrower does have a syringe, nothing to really work with here. If he gets a hit on this Barmaid, that it's possible that the game is over here. It might be a 4K. It does look like that he gets that gate open, is able to get a one-man escape here, and not being able to give Dreamer that 4K that he really wants.
Beautiful gameplay from both sides here. We do see that Dreamer isn't able to pick up that 5-point game because the forward was pushing that gate because Dreamer wasn't pressuring it, and is able to take advantage of that and push out to avoid that 5-point game here and give themselves a possible lead in points here with only 3 points given to Team AA here. We'll have to see what C3's Hunter is able to do if he can push for that 5-point game once again to give them this huge point lead in round 2 here.
I like to say that Dreamer did play really well controlling those ciphers, keep making them switch over and over for the ciphers, especially pressuring that cipher at the end. Is able to secure himself a 3-man out. Now, it really does depend on how the C3 survivors do play here, or sorry, AA survivors do play here. Hopefully that it does go well for them. And we are going to see CCC's Hunter go again. Now, whether or not they're going to ban the Ivy or the Opera is going to be so hard.
Yeah, it's really going to be up to these picks. I feel is going to show what happens with these survivors here. A survivors really going to have to answer the call here and pick it up and not run it down. They're really going to have to do a very, very good comp and have a good kite here. It's really, that's going to be the deciding factor, is your picks as well as the first kite, which is really the deciding factor for any game here. But most importantly, how well you push into the end game there. As you saw, Forward was able to take advantage of Dreamer not pressuring that gate with the leech and push for that one-man escape. We're really going to have to see the AA survivors, pull their weight here. If they're able to get a tie, that will be the round win here. Pushing into the third round, they will have a point lead there.
Yeah, they will have a point lead. For some reason, we see CCC on the survivor side. Maybe we're switching to the hunter.
He has defected.
So we are going to get ready to get into this match. Hopefully the perma bans are remembered.
They are. Don't worry, I'm keeping track. Oh my goodness. But yeah.
With Psych and Lawyer being permabanned here, I think it's going to be harder for the survivors to choose what they pick. Lawyer is easy to throw away of a character, but Psych is so strong of a character, so getting rid of her is very detrimental. It can be hard since she is a hunter who can stall out against like Opera or Ivy. So forcing her out is going to be harder for the survivors to be able to play. I am interested in what they're going to choose here for the predict whether or not they're going to let this Ivy or Opera go, and hopefully that they are able to get this strong comp and be able to push through the difficulty that CCC Hunter is.
Man, why'd you guys have to be good hunters and push for round 3? My voice is fucking cooked. You can't be playing good. Man, that's not how tourneys work. Bro, surely one of you have the couple $100 to bribe the other team. What are you doing?
That's crazy.
It's not very American of you. Wendy, Chubby, you bastards. God damn you. Anyways, we're going to be getting into this exciting round 2 second half here. Hopefully both teams explode so that I can go the fuck to sleep. That's really, I've been up for the past 36 hours. I'm really praying to the gods here that these kids run it down. But no, I'm just kidding. We're looking at hopefully a very exciting round 2 second half here between C3 and AA. C3 hunting here. We're going to see, I believe, that Ivy ban. I would be surprised if we didn't here. We are going to see that Respect Ivy ban, also the meta ban here. So C3 is going to have to find a new hunter to play around with here to push for that 5-point game.
Yeah, and from CCC side, we also the Priestess and Antiquarian ban. He does respect the Antiquarian. Definitely detrimental hunter against Opera Singer or Ivy. Is able to just beat you up and put you in a state where you can't even do anything for the next 10 years.
Yeah, Antiquarian's like a large feminist, like a big, except instead of feminist, like a survivorist. Survivor rights, you know what I'm saying?
We will be seeing the first officer and prospector pick as well. Getting rid of first officer is going to be also pretty hard later for them. Now for the prospector, for the first officer and prospector, getting rid of prospector isn't as bad. But the only thing is that if they're pushing into an opera singer here, an opera singer has played prospector is not the greatest against opera singer. So she is able to close that distance and get a hit on him before that magnet goes off.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did borrow the design of the Flash for this hunter here, so she is able to close that distance extremely fast before the magnet does proc. It's stunned there, and we are looking at maybe a full sausage party squad here from the side of C3 or AA survivors here. We are going to avoid the sausage squad, but it's basically still a sausage squad because Cordy is basically a tomboy. Chicky with the blicky here. We're going to have to see what these survivors are able to do here. If they are able to get that tie, they do grab that point lead here. And if CCC is able to get that 5-point game like he did in the first round, we will be seeing a point lead for C3 into round 3 here. Hopefully you guys don't tie it, because I swear to God, if you make me go to overtime, I will brutally murder both of you and nobody fucking wins.
Very interesting from the co-commentator here. Don't know why he's on a mass murdering spree. Maybe he should know how to go to sleep when people tell him to. Now we are going to be waiting for the trades. I do want to hopefully see an opera singer here. Since she is really strong on Red Church and a really strong hunter right now, despite it already being the meta. that it is like a very cool hunter to see when people are able to perfect the dashes and play so well that it's harder for the survivors to come back to.
Exactly. I just really want to pay homage here to these survivors' names. You know, we got Game Thrower and we have Pasta Muncher 69 here. That right there is somebody who goes home and is not laying alone in bed at night. You know, that right there is a true Chad to the community. Really got to give props there. I still hope you giga lose because I want this game to end, but you get props from me on the name side there. We are going to see the opera singer lock from the side of C3's Hunter there.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just pushing into the opera singer, having the Cordy and the acro right there. Prospector is going to be, since Prospector is there, it could be possible for Prospector first chase, able to get that hit reset and be able to get a fast down. Cordy there to buy as much time as possible, whether or not she gets first hit before the gun or after the gun, trying to buy as much time for these survivors to get decoding done. We do look like we'll see these spawns.
Fuck, this coffee tastes like ass.
Does look like we will see a tie with coordinator and first officer here. Then Acrobat having flywheel and windows. Now, it is going to be. Flywheel is such an interesting thing against Opera because it's a 50-50 or a gamble. Since she's such a fast hunter, it's harder to predict when she is going to swing on you and is going to get that. So your Flywheel can either be late or early. So it's so hard to go against her. Does look like CCC is going to spawn at back gate, trying to possibly push into the coordinator here to try to get an easy first down or push into the Acrobat. I am very interested in what position will take, but I think she's going to be pushing into the coordinator to force her into Graveyard since Opera is still such a good hunter in Graveyard.
We probably will see that. We might see an excitement from this opera singer here to push into that Cordy, because as we know, if you gun her while she's in the middle of her dashing animation, it will cancel that dashing animation on top of the stun, meaning you will be essentially a Hell Ember for 8 seconds there. And you basically will just be throwing your game like a complete troll. So we hopefully won't see that. We do see two tides on the side of AA survivors here looking to push for that tie here. Into the end game here. We are going to see the Sui build on the coordinator, but favoring the tide instead of that normal flywheel there, which is very smart because you will need to see that that tide here. Unfortunately, if we do see that Cordy first chase, that tide is going to be all for naught here. So it will really be up to the discretion of this opera singer here, to C3's Hunter here, to choose which what's your poison, pick your poison on these survivors here. I would assume pushes for that Cordy because, as you said, Graveyard is very, very good place to chase coordinator here.
Does look like we'll be seeing Blink from CCC. Doesn't think he needs that. Doesn't think he needs that excitement against coordinator, whether or not the gun will be used then or before then. Most coordinators do just shoot before excitement will be up. But the prospector harass still might be strong against her, depending on how well that the prospector is able to play it as well.
Yeah, we also have to remember that she does have a gun and she is licensed how to use it. We might see it pretty early here. Is trying to dodge it, but doesn't dodge it. Is going to barely clip that opera singer here with that gun, allowing her to transition here to this pallet area here. Is going to probably use this window speed boost here to transition right back over here. And as we see, very good transition from this coordinator here. Opera singer getting a little lost here, but catching back up, is going to get that hit through the pallet. Ciphers are looking pretty healthy here, but we are going to probably see that blink down onto this Cordy here so that we can get this chair
right here. Whether or not that the blink will be used is going to be hard in this situation. These pallets are pretty bad, but they are also very mind gameable.
There he goes. There he goes.
Looks like
down on the ground.
Looks like we will be seeing a Cypher pop. Two Cyphers are about to pop. Pretty good situation for the survivors. Blink is still in play though, so they might be able to still push this into a Hunter still might be able to push this into a possible 3K or 4K. We'll see how they play. First officer does get caught out here earlier than he would like to. Is going to be pushing for that chair. Does have the watches to play around with though to make it harder to stall out for as much time as possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, he might have to use that third watch instance here to avoid that double down here. Is going to have to use that third watch instance here, which does mean that there will be a possibility for double down here. is just going to immediately farm here, might look for the damage. No, just going to immediately chase down that coordinator to make sure to secure this down here. Cyphers are looking a little bit lackluster, still missing a Cypher and a half here. Is going to be pushing for more damage on this Cordy here. But unfortunately, since we didn't get a hit on that first officer here, we aren't going to be seeing that first presence anytime soon.
It does look like 2 Cyphers are remaining. That other Cypher being already at 70% so hard, they are able to possibly push this into a 4-man end game if played correctly. After that last Cypher pops, survivors just needed support. So it might be a 4-man end game there, but we do know CCC still does have Blink to work with, so he might still get the fast down coordinator. Just depends how long it takes him to find the survivor who is stalling out this chair.
Honestly, first officer honestly has the chance to push in for it here, since they will have an acrobat coming in to harass here. They might be able to push into it here. It is going to use that second watch, looking for that 4-man end game here. The chair's really close here. Not able to rescue when you're in the animation, looking for the farm here, unable to find which one is the coordinator here. Is able to angle the hitbox for that damage. I mean, it didn't really even matter if they weren't able to. Why are you trying to force heal it? The kid doesn't have borrowed time. What are you doing? But anyways, we are going to see no watches on the first officer end game, which is going to be pretty detrimental if getting caught out early there. But CCC does miss a dash there. They are moving away from the Cypher, a very interesting choice, since they would have been able to complete it even with the dashes being up here. So we'll have to see what CCC is going to be able to do here. Does he choose his abnormal, or will he just keep his trait and keep his trump card for the eventual end game here?
Just so hard to make that decision whether or not to switch to abnormal or not, whether or not to start a new Cypher. Doesn't look like the new Cypher will be started. CCC is trying to look at Cyphers. Fortunately, they are trying to die as far as away from that graveyard Cypher to get the progress on it. They are going to try to possibly stall this out and try to still get a 3-man end game right here.
Prospect are going on a journey here. What's going on in the church?
And Blink still looks like it is up, so it could be hard. CCC is probably going to pressure this Cypher. I do think Prospector is going to try to come in for this rescue. Does miss that flywheel, unfortunately. 2 people injured on the field. Whether or not we're going to see whether or not Prospector is going to support right here.
Is going to get that down. No Prospector support, but the Cypher is almost primed. Is going to go for that immediately TP on the Acrobat here. Probably going to force the ball here. Is going to get a beautiful pallet stun with that tumble from the Acrobat there. What the Netties? What the fuck? Netties, what in the shit? Come on now, Netties. Come on, buddy. You can do better than that.
Here. Acrobat still has self-heal. Does look like that we will see some harassment from Prospector. Whether or not that Prospector is going to head straight to there, well, it does look like he's going to switch on to the Acrobat, pick him up and chair him on that Cypher, making it harder for these survivors to work with what they have. CCC did use his trait. Eventually, fortunately, he didn't ever use his blink. So we are going to see whether or not that Prospector is going to get this damageless rescue. CCC heading over towards the Cypher at top broken, starting a new Cypher. Whether or not the Prospector is going to get this free rescue really depends on how they're going to be playing here.
Yeah, we are going to see the Prospector move in for this rescue here. If it's not before half, it's going to be pretty bad. I do believe it is going to be after half, and there's just not enough decoding here. Prospector is going to need to harass here, is going to get that hit here. Honestly, this is looking very bad because we do know first officer decode's super slow here. Acrobat really has to utilize these balls here is going to get down here, and that will be after half, meaning we will be saying goodbye to that Acrobat. And trait with teleport being up, he could just TP here, and it will begin the battle of the exit paths here.
Fortunately, it does look like that CCC is going to go for this 1-man escape. Doesn't really... Prospector is going to be on first share, so he might still be able to find True B in time to get that 1-man out. Knowing that Dungeon is... Prospector might struggle here.
Yeah. Oh, and in a pallet too! Oh, it's peaked here. Oh, that's the best. Oh man, Prospector
We're going to
is
be
going to
able
be
to
able to
see
get
if
the rebound.
Prospector is going to have this time, leaving the Prospector to go onto the Cypher. Doesn't look like Shubi has anything to work with. Will be doing a backflip, going straight back to the Prospector, trying to down him. First officer still has self heal, so if Prospector is able to kite long enough, they still are able to get this 2-man end game.
Is going to get that Prospector magnet right on top of them. Opera really going to have to buy as much, or Prospector going to have to buy as much time as they can here. Ooh, is going to be a TP, is going to be a down, and can just TP right on that Cypher there. And it will look like we will. Oh, wait, possibly a chance. Maybe pushing for the pallets there. Unfortunately, Opera Singer is the fucking Flash reincarnated and will be taking that down. And the battle of the exit paths has begun. Prospector's going to need to kite for literally eternity here. Does miss a dash, giving Prospector more time to heal. Will be able to pop that self-heal in time, I do believe, because the window vault for Opera takes forever. Is going to immediately take that magnet. Gonna slow down the stun there for Opera Singer there. We'll have to see how long this Prospector can last. Does get hit, and that will be the 4-man kill, which does mean C3 will win round 2 with a very good point lead into round 3 here.
You'll see another 5 points for CCC here. Does give them the lead, whether or not they win the next round or not. We will be seeing a round 3. Very interested in seeing what CCC will play here, since Opera and Ivy are going to be gone. And whether or not that they're going to still push into Dreamer's Dream Witch, possibly banned in R3.
Yeah, we'll really have to see what happens here. We've got to give props to CCC's Hunter here. With these, with that 4K elimination here, using the snowball from the round 1 there, really allowing himself to push in to the point deficit, even after survivors were able to get that one escape there. Really able to utilize that super well, especially with the mid to end game there. The survivors, you could see they were panicking, was able to get that 5-point game there, which is going to allow them a very good lead into round 3 here, which is going to be the deciding factor for this matchup here.
Yeah, it was very interesting also to see with the last Cypher that they walked away from the last Cypher. Unfortunately, that made it harder for them in the game, and that the fact that they don't send in Prospector to go get that last harass to really ensure that that last Cypher is popped and they could have that 4-man end game.
Exactly. Really very, very, very almost good try, but I feel if they had switched out maybe the officer or the acrobat with the Prospector and had the Prospector harass, they would have had that 4-man end game they were trying so hard for, which would have allowed them to probably push for that tie and get that round win there. But CCC was able to take advantage of their gameplay there and push for his own 5-point game and allow his team's round 2 win there with a good point lead here for round 3. So we'll have to see what AA will be doing to make up for this point deficit now.
Yeah, CCC just played so well at controlling the ciphers after the coordinator died. Since that, he'd know that they kept trying to go back and forth between that graveyard cipher. It made it really hard for them. They started 3 new ciphers, which made it really hard for them to even lock down and get that last pop. Since of the constant changing of the ciphers, they weren't able to push for that 3-man end game and possibly get a tie, or even a 3-man if they're able to kite out to dungeon.
Exactly. We'll have to see what happens in round 3. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, 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 very interesting here because, goddamn, that was a good match to watch. I won't lie. What is this kid yapping about? What are you yapping about, Lolsey? What are you yapping about? You're doing a lot of yapping. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens in round 3 here.
Definitely interested to see what hunters are going to be played in round 3 and survivors, since there are each time a round goes up, the pool just gets more and more limited, makes it harder for them to choose who they're really confident in and strong in.
Yeah, we might be seeing a sub from the side of AA here, looking to give their other hunter some screen time here after giving all the glory to Dreamer there. Might be looking to give their other hunter some screen time to push for possibly an advantage in round number 3 here.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since those meta picks are going to be, or Dreamer's strongest hunters are going to be out of play here. Definitely interested in seeing what this hunter is going to play for round 3. I am looking forward to see whether or not that C3 has some information on them, whether or not they're going to ban what they're strong in, or just going for the natural bans.
Indeed. I'm looking over. I'm doing some mental mathematics, because I'm very good at math. Let's see here. It seems that C3 has amount of points, and AA also has some points. So somebody has more points, and one of those teams is going to win.
Let me explain. All right. C3 has 11 points. AA has 8 points. If it ends up as a 6-3 in total for AA, we move on to round 4. If AA get any more than a 6-3 result in their favor, they will win the match. And if C3 basically get a 4K or a 4-man escape, they will win the match no matter what.
Wait, let's see here. I'm just going to do the mental math to confirm, because I have a very good history of having phenomenal math skills. Let's see. I don't really care. All I know is that there is gaming to be had. I definitely just missed that invite. I won't even lie.
I didn't get it.
Invite me once again.
Milk, you might have to invite everybody else.
I can invite everybody else because I'm him. I think that was a fact that you forgot. Actually, I think Vi has her. Is Lumi not here? Is Lumi...
No,
Lumi fucking dip?
That's what I've been telling you. I'm round 3 host now.
Oh my god, we got the bum. I'm kidding. But Vi, do you have Vi? How do you say your name? Can I call you Vi? Is it Vi? Do you have everybody added? Do you have everybody? Are you the one? No, that was. Who do I have added? What? Which one are you? I know you were in the game, so obviously you're not the person. That's Lumi. Okay, so we'll invite you. Lolzy, do you have Vi on your friends list to invite?
Not that I can add them.
I haven't.
All right. What's your ID? Vi?
Did you not add it earlier?
Dude, listen.
Nah, but
I don't pay attention to this stuff.
You're cooked.
Okay. I'm too focused on being him.
Him who never remembers anything.
11474-687. 11474.
Just speaking out the ID out loud is insane.
687. Right. Oh, do you mean to the chat? The chat doesn't care. I'm sure they're all friends with Vi anyways. So I sent you a friend request. Let's go. All right. Okay. We're inviting you. There we go. Okay, and then let's get this guy up in here. And then we have everybody. Now we can go ahead and push into the God. And then 4 survivor bans, 1 hunter ban. Who's going first here? Let's see here.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. What faction is going first?
Looks like the Dreamer's still going to be Hunter here. Looks like Cuppy is going to be subbed in for him as a survivor instead. Looks like this is round 3. Looks like Factory is going to be banned, and unfortunately, we don't know the map pick yet.
Yeah, we are looking into the details here to see what exactly is going on. We've been going for about almost 2 hours now. Ugh.
Don't
We're
worry,
burning out here. Somebody needs to win.
I will make this quick for you.
Are we doing a bit of bribery here? Is that what's going on here?
Why would I bribe you?
I don't want your nasty ass money. I'm talking about the teams playing. Let's see. What do we think, V? Should we bribe them? Should we bribe C3 or AA? I think we should bribe C3 or AA. All right, AA or C3. I'll give you 6 Chuck E. Cheese tokens to forfeit.
For real, AA, never surrender.
Exactly. Moonlit. Oh my goodness. We are in peak tier. That's the best map right there.
This map is interesting. Definitely depends on which hunter. So many hunters are strong on this map, like Bloody Queen, Geisha, Nightwatch, Wax Artist. All these strong hunters on this map. Even Opera Singer is, Ivy is. Such. It's a big map, but we're going to see. Hopefully, we are going to see some people using the roller coaster, using it to its fullest potential, able to use it to rotate and really stall out that. Time for the kite.
And apparently we do see, so Lakeside Ban, Moonlit Pick, we're going to see Faction Order. I do believe, is that Chuby saying Dreamers going first? Is that the Chuby way of saying Dreamers going first? I would assume that's what it is. We'll wait for confirmation here as we wait for the deciphering of this unknown language. It's going to be a very interesting round 3 here. I believe what Lolsey said is that if C3 gets a 4 kill, it's over right off the bat. But don't take my word for it. Just for now, it's anybody's game. I'll do the mental math as we get into it here. So if I'm a little quiet, I'm just doing the mental math here. We have 11-8 with C3 winning round 2. So if it's a 4-man round 1. Or if it's a 4-man round 3, right out the gate, 5 points to C3. That's 16 points to 8. There's no way they can come back from that deficit. So yeah, I believe even if it's a 3K, no, because they can still get a 5-point game. So because then it'll be 14 and 9, and AA can still get a 5-point game and get the tie. No, they get the win on round 3, but it's tied up in points. So then I believe they would go into overtime. But once again, folks, don't take me at my word. I'm just babbling. But I believe that's what the fact is here. If C3 4Ks, it's a guaranteed win no matter what, because the point differential is literally double, because it's 11-8 right now. A 5-point game would give them 16-8. That would literally be double their points. So it wouldn't matter what would happen. So there's that. And then for the A3 survivors here, or for the A3. What are you talking about? Anyways, for the C3 survivors here, or the AA survivors here, or the AA team, if they get a 3 point after a 3 escape or a 4 escape or a 4 kill, then it will be round 4 overtime, I believe. Hopefully not. Listen, the game has to end sometime. As much as I want to see this go on forever, just kidding. No, I don't, because I have a life and I don't want to suffer for eternity. It has been fun. We are getting into the picks and bans here, looking like a Bane and Opera Singer ban. My goodness, C3, my respect for you just plummeted, because I love my boy Bane. Why would you do this to him? What has he ever done to you? We are going to see the Seer and Patient ban on the side of Dreamer. We are going to see the Psychologist and Embalmer picks on the side of C3. We're rushing through it here. We love to see it. They're really energetic and raring to go here.
My co-commentator's giga yapping because I'm letting him speak for 5 seconds. But we will see also a Seer ban from Dreamer. Looks like they are not going to be respecting that Dream Witch, but trying to push it for a third time, just constantly going against his Dream Witch and not really seeing it as a threat, thinking hopefully that they can get another tie or they can get another 3-man escape against them and have CCC come in and give them another 4-man.
And you're really seeing the strength of C3's survivors and Hunter here with how well they're able to play around this little bit of point differential here. I mean, if they're able to escape Dreamer here, that will be the end, but I don't think Dreamer's going to let that happen here. So we'll really have to see. Probably going to push for that four kill game. We'll have to see if he pushes another Dreamwish game or if he's going to change up the tactics here.
It does look like we will also be seeing a forward and a priest forward pick and a priestess ban. Priestess is so strong on Moonlit; it's really hard to go against. Looks like we are going to see a double harasser though, trying to possibly kick him out of that Dream Witch if he's going to go there, or whether or not they're going to force it here or not. Now, choosing Embalmer and Psych can be strong against Dream Witch, but it's really just going to be down to whether or not how well these survivors can play and how well that they're able to show, how strong they really are.
Exactly. We'll have to see. Looking like a heavy harass comp here and a heavy tie comp here. Maybe just looking for that tie to even out the points and then allow CCC to get that 4-man kill 5-point game to close out the matchup here.
Does look like we are going to be seeing a Hunter pick here soon on Moonlight. I'm really interested in see who he's picking, especially since the Dream Witch is available. Dream Witch is strong on Moonlight, can be played well on Moonlight. So it does look like Dreamer is cycling through a billion people. Not for sure he's going to pick here.
The Cream Machine Master is going to be coming out. The Wax Artist here, pushing for a more of a cipher control character here. We saw the Dream Witch, which was really good with the cipher control. We see that really favoring these cipher control hunters, but on a big map like this, we'll really have to see how well he plays around the transitionings and this very, very heavy tie comp of the C3 survivors here. We got the Anti at 4-stop, forward at Top Ridge, Embalmer at 2-story, and we are going to be seeing that psychologist at the first stop there. Very, very normal spawns, pushing for that tie at all costs to help out their hunter at all costs. We'll have to see what Dreamer's going to do to push back and fight back against this.
Possibly chasing Antiquarian first here, since she is at 4-stop. Now she can be strong there, but Wax, every time she hits Wax with the stick, does get stunned, but it does depend whether or not she's a combo master and is able to hit every stick and stun him for that eternity that he's there for.
Exactly. We're going to see possibly some Mortal Kombat finishers over here with this Antiquarian gameplay. I imagine we'll push for the forward, thinking he's easy pickings, but it's also a forward and he can just giga rotate 10. Doesn't really have a good chase target here.
Fortunately not. Psych would have been the best option, but she is spawning out that first story to as much time as possible on the train. The only thing is that they are going to, if they do chase Antiquarian, it is still possible that Antiquarian get down early if she's played poorly. So hopefully, let's see what Dreamer can do, who he does choose to chase first here. Looks like he will be moving towards that forward, looking for his first chase.
Is going to look for that forward here. Forward catching the blood trail of the forward quite early here. Forward just going to use these walls to the best of their abilities here. Choosing to semi-block off the window here, really utilizing these windows well. Is going to have to vault here. Do we see Confined? We don't see the Confined from is going to get that hit through the window on that forward there. Very, very, very good from the side of Dreamer here, forcing him to rotate out a very, very early hit. Forward's really going to have to use some of that football here, is going to use some of that football just to be able to reach this window here. It will be a very, very long kite if we don't utilize our trade here for this down here.
Does look like we will be seeing the insolence. Ford still trying to get the maximum capability out of the walls. The only issue here is that, Wax has insolent, so it's harder to keep up with him and keep going and using the walls when they're all full. Using as much football as he can to get as much distance as possible, trying to kite him in this area. Looks like Cyphers are looking pretty healthy here. Uses and gets a terror shock, almost full presence, and he needs one hit, but Cyphers are looking very healthy, especially since this is a later down. Warp was already up in for a while, and two Cyphers are about to pop, and a third one on the way. Very not looking like a great situation here for Dreamer. His trait is on cooldown. It is first down. Survivors have to debate what to do. They did chase forward though, so they don't have that tide to work with, and he can still get a pretty good win here. See Shiro on top bridge, hiding behind that Cypher. But game thrower starting another Cypher. Two Cyphers are on the field, getting ready to get this rescue. Looks like this rescue will be after half. Yeah, Ed's probably just planning to go for a tie here and play it safe.
Definitely what they're choosing to do here. Very interesting choice because Psychologist choosing to rescue after half when you have that availability of tanking so many hits might just sell. Wait, are they just selling?
Looks like
I suppose they are just selling. Even with a Psychologist, not really a good idea to sell here because we do see a full max presence wax artist here, and he's just going to be able to find out that Antiquarian quite early, and at max presence there's not much the Antiquarian is able to do here. I do disagree with this sell here. It really is going to cost you your end game because you're going to have to burn a lot of abilities here to keep this wax artist at bay for long enough to get the other two Cyphers primed here.
Yeah, especially since that they have to start a new Cypher since Antiquarian is going to be starting this new one here. I is able to get a bunch of wax on her, 69 wax. We'd love to see that number. Is going to hit him, stun him into for 8 seconds, but does have Desperate Fight. Fortunately, as Antiquarian, you just get comboed and, you don't have much to do as a hunter.
No counterplay. Is just going to be taking the hit to transition here. Very smart decision from the Antiquarian, choosing not to transition. I suppose utilizing the walls. Wax not dealing with any of it, gonna warp immediately away, knowing that these are the only two Cyphers, leaving that warp up as a threat to that Antiquarian, but they should be communicating to each other that he's not gonna retake the warp. Should just be looking for the very interesting choice from Dreamer there to not to put himself inside the pallet and sit on the other side. Is going to move back to the warp. Will he make it through it before it goes on cooldown? He will make it through it before it goes. He drops it on purpose. What?
No, right now. Unfortunately, he didn't make it there.
Oh, it looked on my screen like it was about to run out. Okay, whatever. Is going to find that Antiquarian, but it is just about prime. Probably just going to use the stick there to prime it, I would imagine. Is going to just use... Doesn't choose to prime it. Probably just afraid of that hot wax there. Is going to take that down there, but fortunately for C3, they will see the other Cypher on bridge. Dreamer is probably going to look to block it off here, and Embalmer uses the glob on a different Cypher here, deciding to use Embalmer because Embalmer doesn't have borrowed time here, so if he goes to rescue and gets terror shocked, it's game over. Very good decision from C3 survivors here, and we are looking at Psychologist pushing in here. We do know the dungeon location for a possible 3-man endgame escape route here. We are hopefully gonna get that before half rescue here. Doesn't look like we're gonna get it before half. Is not gonna get it before half here, which is gonna be quite unfortunate, but does allow this Antiquarian to transition here. And we don't have warp, so we're unfortunately not going to be able to get an endgame. And Embalmer did get sight of that Antiquarian, I do believe. So we might be seeing that coffin from the side. Nope, not going to have enough time to get that coffin off. We don't have warp quite available here. So, and we are going to say goodbye to that Antiquarian. We're not choosing a chair just yet. Oh, is going to look to warp across the map here, not a very far warp, but is going to immediately catch on to that Psychologist here in a very, very open area. Is going to be looking like she will be going down. She needs to do her best to try to kite out this warp here. Is not going to be able to kite. Is going to get a coffin here. Does mean he will be returning back to the Antiquarian, who will be able to pick herself up here. This is looking like a very dangerous decision from the side of Dreamer here, trying to push for something more than a tie here, but it does allow Antiquarian Aquarian to pick herself up is going to block both the window here. Aquarian does not see it. Looking for the flywheel, does not get it out there. Psychologist is just going to be able to pick herself up and run for the gate since warp is on cooldown. Or just look for this dungeon escape here. Regardless, she either gets the gate or the dungeon here, and it will be a tie in the end because there is no warp to be seen at all. Dreamer just pushing straight for the gate. Shiro should be communicating this, and I do believe it will be a tie here. It will be a tie here.
Yeah. Definitely interesting decisions by Dreamer by, not picking up that Antiquarian and then saving his warp. Unfortunately, but he can't see the gate timers, and it's harder for him to, play to his full potential as he is. He's just worried about the gate or them making enough distance, if he's so scared, since he's so scared about those decisions, it's harder for him to, get that chair on the Antiquarian, finishing off, sending her back to the manor, and then starting to chase on the Psychologist to possibly get the 3-man escape, or the 3-man.
Yeah, it looks like the points will be 13-10 here. AA not too far behind. If they do grab that 3-point game here, 3-1, I do believe they win. So if they're able to get that 3 escape here, they win by rounds. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see from the side of AA survivors here. They really are gonna have to push for this strong survivor comp. They're really gonna have to push that harass, that rescue, that tide, that support. We're gonna have to see what they do here. It's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely interested in seeing what CCC is gonna be playing there.
I am on a pitch black screen. What the fuck? Excuse me. It does seem like NetEase is persisting to put nukes in my house, so I will have to restart my IDV. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness, this takes a long time to restart. But let's just talk about the phenomenal kite from that forward. The decision to chase the forward was definitely there, but due to those high walls and forward very well utilizing that football there, it did spell disaster on the side of Dreamer there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard. He didn't have the greatest chase targets to choose. Really hard as a wax artist to, cover that distance. Ford able to keep utilizing the walls, preventing that rescue. I will say the cell is pretty interesting, with the Psychologist and, 3 ciphers already popped before first down. They could have pushed for a 3-man escape there, unfortunately. But playing it safe is always good. They don't want to risk it. They don't want to risk him taking control of the game and getting that 4-man.
Yeah, and as we see, the win conditions are going to be a tie or less, meaning if C3 or if AA survivors get a tie or less, they will lose and C3 will be taking the round win here. But if they are able to get a 3 escape or more on the side of AA survivors, they will be winning this matchup here. So it's really going to be about their aggressiveness in this 3rd round final half here.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like I said, I am interested to see what CCC is going to play here, since it's Opera Singer and his Ivy are gone. They're going to push into, we're going to have, and especially since we're going to have these other survivors come in, and since they subbed out Dreamer, I'm really excited to see how the survivors are going to play, and that synergy. Hopefully that synergy between them is so strong that they might be able to get that 4, maybe possibly get a 4-man or 3-man escape here.
Quick thing that I want to mention: they have to get a 4-man escape to win. AA.
They can get a 3-man.
No, they need a 4-man because even
because of the points.
Because of the points,
because we take round over points because they just got a tie.
Right. Let me tell you something. You do realize C3 literally won round 2.
Yeah, and then they would win this round.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That's 1-1. That's 1-1, mate.
Yeah.
Milk, come on, man.
Yeah, think about, bro. Hey, don't even listen to him. You just need a 3-man. Trust. What are you yapping about, bro?
I'm pretty sure that's
3-1. Oh yeah, because they get a 1 point. So yeah, they would be losing by 1 point.
CCC needs CCC needs to.
CCC needs 1 kill.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you do need a 4-man escape. That's not too hard. You got that. You got
No
that.
pressure.
You're America's anthem. You got that. You got that.
An unfortunate point requirement there.
Yeah, but it is possible. Nothing's impossible. Especially being able to get a 4-man escape. It is difficult, but you just don't just give up just because it could be really hard. But I am, like I said, hopefully, I do know that CCC plays a huge variety of hunters. Whether or not that they have the same skills they do with Ivy and Opera is going to be interesting, depending on the other hunter. Meta is meta, so it's going to be hard. Going against meta players is going to be harder than going against non-meta. So it is still possible for AA to win here, since they don't have to work with those hard hunters like Opera or Ivy.
We're doing a little bit of side bribery here. Doing a little bit of side bribery on the side. We do a little side bribery. That's not how you spell bribery. Same thing. That's not a little side bribery here on the side. I just want to see a Bane gameplay. Please, AA survivors, please don't ban Bane, please.
I was hoping this game would end sooner so I can finally go play rank, but I don't think that's going to be happening.
Please. AA survivors, you should play Cowboy. AA survivors, if you're hearing me, play Cowboy. Play Cowboy. Play Cowboy. I'm gonna type play. AA serves, play Cowboy, please. A little bit of gaming. Play Cowboy. Play Cowboy, maybe.
There was a matching error.
Looks like we will be seeing a matching error. So, wait it all through again.
What the fuck?
Has this been cursed the whole time?
Netties.
This is pain.
Unfortunately, Team AA and Team C3 were not worthy to wield this trash game, so they will be booted from the universe as a whole.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait. So hopefully the game can finally start. And
we do see some outside interference from Ray Chimp over here, UGCN members. If you guys didn't know, UGCN actually stands for UG Chimps. You know what I mean? So, just wanted to get a little side note there. But anyways, we will be trying to get into this final half here. Who's pinging me, bro? What do you want? What do you want? Oh, my precious. Oh, no. I thought it was CCC. Never mind. I don't give a shit about Wendy. I'm just kidding. Guys, I treat everybody equally. Play Cowboy. Play Cowboy. Play Cowboy and Bane. Play Cowboy and Bane. Play Cowboy and Bane. That's all we want. That's what the people want.
That's
and if the people say otherwise, then I light them on fire.
Play God himself.
Play.
Interesting buff idea to Ivy. She instantly kills all survivors when she puts a leech on one place.
Your house is getting nuked.
We will be seeing a Priestess and Merc ban on the side of CCC. We will ban, survivors are going to be able to ban 2 hunters this time. Probably going to see the Opera ban and the Ivy ban, since it is going to be so detrimental to go against those 2 characters once again up and lit. So they are going to be banned. Survivors are going to be able to choose whatever they're going to plan against, because unfortunately I don't know what CCC is possible.
Cowboy. Please, Cowboy. Please play Cowboy, please. Please play Cowboy, bro. Cowboy and Bane, please. Embalmer pick. They do need a 4 escape, so that makes sense. They haven't given up yet, which is nice. That's why I know one of them surely is going to play Cowboy, right? Surely Cowboy's OP, trust. banning another survivor. We are going to see the Embalmer and Acrolock banning the Patient out, trying to get rid of all these survivors that do very well end game to avoid any chance of a 4 escape at all here.
Yeah, we will be seeing those bans. It's like a Weeping Clown might come out here. Very interesting pick when needing the 4-man. Normally, you want to see something like Antiquarian or, anyone who can really kite that hard end game. Weeping Clown is. But there is an interesting buff to Weeping, so maybe, he'll be able to pull off that 4-man escape, just rocket to the dungeon and get that 4-man.
It's actually well known that if you do lock in Cowboy, you actually automatically win the game. Please, lock in Cowboy, please. Do it, lock in Cowboy. Lock it in, Cowboy, lock it in. There's a nice, crisp $1 bill.
Seer ban is going to be the last ban that we're going to see here. Survivors are still picking, trying to figure out how to get that 4-man. Do understand the Embalmer and Acrobat. Embalmer, definitely great for 4K, able to make that distance depending on the hunter, and especially being able to buy as much time as possible.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing
Oh
the
my
Cowboy
God,
pick.
we love to see it. I don't care. I don't even care. Team AA wins in my heart. I don't even care. Let him. Give him the win, please. Oh my God, please alter the rules. Alter the rules. My goodness, let this team move on. Listen, if CCC plays Bane, I'll be at an impasse. I'll be stuck. We'll have to see here. We'll have to see. Will both teams give in? Please do it. Do it. You want to. Please. You got this. CCC, please. If you're listening, do it. You know what needs to be done. Lock in the Bane, the Banester, the Hookman, Big Man Hook, Deerhead, what I'm talking about. Lock it in. You want to. You're thinking about it. It's in your brain. The idea. I want you, as soon as they lock in their talents, I want you to tap on Gamekeeper's portrait and click confirm. You need to. You gotta, please. You have to. For me, for the commentators, for the dying children, the children CCC, the children in the hospitals. Lock in the Banes. Let's go. Lock it in. Locked in. Oh my goodness. You are the best player ever, bro. Who the fuck even is GG Zom, bro? I don't even know that kid. I know C3 CCC. Let's go. That's what we like to see, folks. We are seeing the best matchup in the entire world, in this entire tourney, in the entire history of Identity 5 and all worlds ever in the universe of all existence. This matchup will be the matchup to end all matchups in every matchup to ever be matched up. Do you understand? This matchup defies logic, skill, physical abilities. This matchup defies everything. What we are about to see here is literally history. You'll be telling this story to your children thousands of generations from now. This story will be etched in marble in a museum. Anyways.
The best yapper for choosing his characters is insane. Can't even compete in the national competition that he's making this. We will be seeing CCC spawn next to the Cowboy and the Weeping Clown. Do you think he is going to be pushing into the Cowboy, trapping up the middle, trapping up the second stop here, then pushing into Cowboy, making it impossible for him to take the train and take the roller coaster to second stop?
All right, guys, let's take a gander at these personas here. We got Pasta Muncher 69 on the, the Sui, the big Sui. We got Cuppy Wuppy on the regular BT Tide. We got Chubby 69 on Flywheel BT, and we got Kix Varen on Flywheel Tide. Another different variation of the Sui build. This is going to be a very, very good game here. As we know, Bane is very good at trapping the tram, or the thingy, the coaster. That's the word, because it stops you when you get into it. It actually rips you by the leg out of the coaster, and then you get brutally beaten to death by the gamekeeper there. So we'll have to see who his chase target is going to be.
UCC is walking towards the cowboy, looking for a first chase here. Possibly going to trap it off so he can't take it or use it to rotate. Now keep in mind that AA does need a 4-man escape. We'll see if this cowboy is able to pull this off as much as he can, using that time to transition. Getting the first hook straight off towards the roller coaster, off our first stop, and heading into this area. Doesn't look like any hooks were landed, unfortunately. Trapping the area, so we can't use it to rotate. We will see the lasso come into play. Now, having flywheel is super good against Bane, but it can also hurt your transition. CCC is trying to mind game here.
Good mind games from the side of both the gamekeeper and the cowboy here. Trying to bait out the hook is just going to take that regular hit there, completely ignoring the hook there. Very good from this cowboy here. Probably going to have to use that lasso to mind game there. It does unfortunately miss the lasso here. Good flywheel, does get baited out. Will be seeing the down here. Pretty good Cypher progress there from the AA survivors here, but that will be the first down shared at Godkite here.
Now, I assume that we're going to be seeing Balmer Pasta Muncher 69 trying to go in to get a look at Cowboy to buy as much time as possible, trying to get that 4-man escape. The Weeping Clown is getting ready to position himself for this rescue, trying to get a hit possibly as early as he can or stop this rescue coming in. Will miss that rocket. Does look like this is going to be an after half rescue. Balmer was giving a look, but unfortunately it's over half rescue. We're not going to be seeing Weeping Clown coming back in for another rescue. It is pretty hard for Balmer to come in for this rescue now. Now he has to dismantle trap. Does flywheel the trap.
Ooh, we might see this rescue here. It's really going to be up to the determination of this embalmer here. Oh, unfortunately, isn't going to get the rescue, but does get the chair hit from the side of the embalmer here. Is going to get that hook here. Trying to bait out flywheel when he flywheeled through the trap here. I'm very interested here.
Let's get that one elimination that CCC needs. Now, they are going to be trying to play the fullest intent, trying to cut off from CCC getting as many points for his team as possible. Can't take the train, or not the train. You're cooking me, bro. You can't take the roller coaster here because it is trapped.
The train. But yeah, as we see, AA is now merely just fighting a power for moral, just keeping as many points away from C3 as they can here. Is going to be using that coffin. They do have quite a lot of Cypher progress here. Is going to warp to continue to pursue this embalmer here. Very interesting choice since the embalmer was shared on his Cypher there. So we'll have to see. Ooh, can he dodge it? Can he dodge it? Is going to just take the hit there, choosing to die quite far away from the Cyphers here. The Cyphers are looking very, very healthy here. Getting a hook here. Oh, looking to hook on the... Unfortunately, won't have the hook up for the rebound here, but we are looking at 2 Cyphers left. One is in 2-story, I believe, and one is at... right there, which is going to be, I believe, trapped once that embalmer does get rescued there.
It looks like Troop is getting ready to come for this rescue. Weeping Clown coming in. We're going to go to the other Cypher, finish it out. They need to die. Embalmer needs to die as far away from this Cypher as he can. Is going to unfortunately not be able to get that rescue off.
Unfortunately, will be the down. They're really just playing for keeping these points away from the side of C3 here. Really good gameplay with this Bane hook here. We really just got to appreciate that beautiful, beautiful kite from the GOAT, the cowboy here, but is looking for that... is going to get that beautiful stun. Very good stun. Might just switch to blink here, maybe? Nope. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Just going to get that one hook that's needed. Is going to get that hook through literally everything, which is why we love to see,
look like they know that the roller coaster is trapped off. Doesn't look like the communication's going well between survivors. We'll switch to abnormal so they can't prime the cipher and possibly push for that one-man escape. CCC wanting to get as many points for his team for the bracket as possible. Won't have hookup anymore to be coming down.
Is going to look for that exit path war over here. Looking for a slow bomb here. Good slow bomb by Chubi is going to slow that descent here, but it really just is a matter of time due to that trap on the is going to bait out that flywheel. Good bait on the side of C3's Hunter here. It really is looking like an inevitable endgame, as we do see both of these survivors have exhausted that exit path. So it's really going to be up to the determination of both these survivors here to see if they can get that one-man escape for the moral victory.
He is looking for that, trapping off the two-story, looking for Mr. Cuppy, but unable to find him. Cuppy is on the other side of the map looking for possible dungeon. But unfortunately, CCC misses that hook. The only thing they can do is hope that Cuppy does kite long enough here and is able to have Chubi bleed out and get dungeon. Does have tinnitus, looking for the Whipping Clown, unfortunately not able to find him. Does look like that the rotation that Cuppy's using is great against CCC. Unfortunately, he will be caught out here soon. CCC sees him on the bridge, pushing for that 4-man. Is going to try to get rid of that heal off the Acrobat. Does have to dodge this hook. If he doesn't dodge this hook, unfortunately, it does look like a 4-man for CCC.
And I believe that will be the 4-man elimination on the side of C3. But once again, never surrender. Hide, stall as much of the game out as possible. Going to abnormal again for good measure. Bringing it down to 11% is going to find Chubi, and they will surrender. That will be C3 for the victory there. Very, very good stuff. You love to see it. The fact that they played Bane and Cowboy, I wish we could give the win to both of you, but unfortunately, I don't make the rules. I'm just a slave. Unpaid intern. But yeah, we have been your commentators, and our lovely host here, V, who has streamed for us since these matchups did overlap here. I have been your host, BT, with my co-host here, Elmo. And that was a very fun matchup to watch. I won't lie. I was a little skeptical at first, but then I remembered that it's the GOATs AA, and they always provide entertainment. So that was definitely a very fun match to watch.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining matchup. I was interested the whole time, seeing how both hunters play. Great playing from both hunters. They both played as best as they can. Unfortunately, it's hard. As a hunter, you do get weared out. You do get have to do a match after match and trying to do as best as you can for your team. So, good try for AA's Hunter and Survivors. And, good job to C3 for, being able to go through that and play through all that stress and as a Hunter.
Good stuff. Make sure to be here tomorrow for, all 4 of the matchups we got scheduled. That'll be fun. But yeah, I am going to go black the hell out. GG's, congratulations. And remember, this doesn't mean they're out. This is a group stage, so we will be seeing more of both AA and C3 in the future. Do look forward to that. But I also do look forward to more of Week 2 matchups coming both tomorrow and Sunday. We have had a fun time, but we are going to go now. Peace out.